Good evening, good morning, wherever you are on this good earth. I speak to you today from Wilson's Promontory in what is now Gippsland, Victoria, on the south coast of Australia. And I acknowledge past, present, and emerging leaders of this Aboriginal Bunurong country. I've been privileged to spend the last 3 months as a professor of environmental and sustainability education. And it is education of which I wish to speak today. My question has been, what kind and quality of education supports the prophetic imagination needed to fulfill a vision of a new earth? My own view is that much of what characterizes the old earth is just fine. I think of my remarks as a modest new vision for our old earth. I begin with indigenous wisdom. In spite of the devastating effects of global colonialism, many indigenous peoples have successfully kept their ancestral practices, cosmologies, and philosophies. These ancient bases of wisdom are collectively known as life-originating principles. Through them, we interact with the spiritual, the sacred, with the natural material, and with other cultures. These life-originating principles have great value as we imagine education for a new earth. Here, on this continent, we have the oldest continuous expressions of human spirituality. Unity Earth has as an inspiration the discovery by Mungo Man and Mungo Lady of Jimbola, Joan's husband and Ben's father. It's part of what informs Unity Earth's vision of respect for indigenous wisdom and our tradition of listening to country. This was witnessed in our return to country of Mungo Man's remains with the support of Unity Earth in 2017. It's the work of Unity Earth to strengthen and sustain this ancient wisdom and traditional spiritual practices that preserve the sacred balance of Earth. We know a great deal about the patterns of sustainable living, of continuous spiritual ecology, of systems of adaptation through this transfer of local and traditional knowledge on this vast continent. What else can fire our prophetic imagination? A sense of place and a sense of wonder characterize effective education. The power of wonder to evoke reverence for the mystery of our being is a grounding for education for a new earth. This awe, this wonderment given to us by the beauty of earth is a critical foundation for the creative imagination and of the prophetic imagination. We need this imagination to envision a new earth of healthy natural systems that support life on earth as we have known it. Wonder energizes, informs, and inspires us, and it embeds us in the world. Part of education for a new earth is setting the cosmological context in which learning takes place. We belong to a larger universe. If we take this as a tenet of education, we can shift the learner's view from the individual to the larger living earth. And in this way, we can teach universal responsibility, and we can teach larger circles of identity and relationship. Understanding one's place in the vast evolving universe is inspiring. Education in this context of continuous regeneration of creation is life-affirming. In this project of developing a philosophy and pedagogy for education for a new earth, I valorize the deep ethical discourse that underpins the Earth Charter. Although it's not written explicitly for education, but rather as an ethical framework for an interconnected, ecologically sustainable future, the Earth Charter reminds us that fundamental changes are needed in our values, institutions, and ways of living. I want to recognize that these ideals of democracy and nonviolence and peace, social economic justice, ecological integrity, are maybe not achievable, but they are like stars that help us navigate our journey, and we need such a vision. I believe world-affirming spirituality is needed to live and learn as part of a larger vision, despite the chaos and the challenges we now face. I want to recognize that education is a necessary process in moving toward conscious evolution. Democratic, transformative education is a necessary aspect of creating a new Earth. If we think of sustainability and resurgence as the meta-narratives of our time, we're called upon to reimagine the institutions such that they allow for transformative learning. There's much that I could say about the state of the old Earth and the anthropogenic changes that threaten all forms of life as we've known them and as they've evolved. But I will only say that the antidote to climate anxiety and despair is action. Action taking is essential to a philosophy of education based on hope. Allow me finally to speak of love. At the heart of education for the prophetic imagination, we find love. Love for Earth. And as Buddhist theologian Joanna Macy has reminded us, this love is unconditional. Our love for Earth cannot be based on her condition. We do not love our mother less because she is ill, because her systems are compromised. One of the aspects of my work in Australia, at University of the Sunshine Coast, is that the university has a special relationship with Gari, also known as Fraser Island. Fraser Island is a gorgeous, protected island World Heritage Site. It's the country of the Bachelor people. It has lens lakes and virgin forests and a 100-mile beach. And with their permission, I'd like to share a love story for Earth. It's the story of the creation of Gari. Gari was a great helper in the creation of the Earth, and she helped Yandinge make the seashores, the mountain ranges, the lakes, and the rivers. Princess Gari enjoyed her work very much, and she worked tirelessly to create natural beauty. And one day, Yandinge was concerned, and he said to Gari, "You'd better rest. Otherwise, you'll be too tired to continue our work. There's some rocks over there in the sea. Why don't you go and lie down and have a sleep?" So she laid down on the rocks and she had a long sleep. And when she awoke, she said to Yandinge, "I think this is the most beautiful place we have ever created. Please, Yandinge, may I stay on Earth forever?" "Oh no, Gari, I can't allow that. You are a spirit. You must be here with me." But she pleaded, and finally Yandinge agreed. "You may stay here, but you cannot stay in spirit form. I will need to change you." So he changed her into a beautiful island. So she wouldn't be lonely, he made some beautiful trees and flowers, some lakes that were specially mirrored so that she could see into the sky. He made creeks and laughing waters that would become her voice, and birds and animals to keep her company. He gave these people knowledge and laws and he told them how to create so that their children and ancestors would always be there to keep Gari company. So she fell in love with Earth, and she is still here. So as you think about your vision for a new Earth, may your prophetic imagination be fired by indigenous wisdom, by wonder, by earth ethics, by action taking, and by love. Thank you.